my honor to be part of this discussion. So, hello from the sunny Scotland today. It's late afternoon. I'm working as a lecturer in the digital education in the University of Strathclyde. And the paper is entitled Web-Based Video Conferencing for Teaching Online, Continuance Intention to Use in the Post-COVID-19 Period. Actually, the inspiration for this paper is the initiative by Association of Smart Learning Ecosystems back in last year, in March and April 2020. And we try to measure and build a model to predict continuous intention to use web-based video conferencing by teachers. We all know that during the first half of 2020, educational institutions around the world moved online, moved their instruction from face-to-face to online. This temporary shift has been described as emergency remote teaching. And during this period, web-based video conferencing with tools such as Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, etc., have become a very popular teaching platform and meeting platform. So, and this emergency shift of instructional delivery to online can be considered as a global experimental setting. This is a nice description by Carlo in his paper back in March 2020. He considered this as an experimental setting, and I take the advantage to present this small-scale research to you, because there is no actually a model so far in the existing literature to predict continuance intention to use web-based video conferencing. So this is the main aim of the study, to propose a model. And of course, technology acceptance model is the background of the study. The main constructs perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. And also there is another model that we have used as our background, the expectancy confirmation model. In this model, the main factor that contributes to the continuance intention to use is the satisfaction, and then the confirmation. Confirmation means the agree to which users' original expectations before using a system are confirmed when they use the system. And of course, satisfaction is the most important predictor in this model. So we did some kind of literature review. You can read this literature review in the paper. And finally, based on the literature review, we designed this model, which is a combination of the technology acceptance model and expectancy confirmation model, trying to predict university teachers' intention to continue use these web conferencing tools. As I told you, this is a small-scale study so far. It has been implemented back in the second half of June and the first half of July 2020. We have developed, actually we used an online questionnaire based on previously validated instruments. 66 academic staff members participated in the survey, and we used partial least squares with Smart PLS2 to predict and explain the factors that influence continuance intention to use. And this is the output of, this is our results, and we can see here that the results from the PLS analysis supported all our 8 hypotheses. We can see that continuous intention to use can be predicted by satisfaction, perceived usefulness, confirmation, social influence, and perceived ease of use. This is the facilitating conditions that support perceived ease of use. Regarding the means that we try to measure, the construct of continuance intention to use has the highest mean value, followed by the perceived ease of use and social influence. Actually, teachers perceived web-based video conferencing as easy to use for their teaching. They also reported a rather high social pressure, apparently due to the need for emergency remote education. And the model explains about 73% of the total variance in continuance intention to use, and as I told you, with the satisfaction to be the most important factor. We can say that this small-scale study can make two contributions in the existing literature. The theoretical contribution is that it combines technology acceptance model with the expectation confirmation model. And of course, there is a practical dimension that based on this study provides evidence from the teacher's perspective for the feasibility of continuing using video conferencing system for teaching after the COVID-19 pandemic is over. And of course, we hope that this study can inform developers, school administrations, instructional designers to implement, to embed video conferencing in online or blended learning environments in the future. There is a pedagogical dimension in this study because it is well known that transactional distance theory argues that there is a distance in online courses. Beyond the temporal and spatial distance, we have also the emotional and cognitive distance. And video conferencing systems, we believe that can support multiple pedagogical approaches because they, using these tools, the educational community manage to overcome these barriers, either emotional or cognitive barriers, of course, to a certain extent. Okay. Last slide, the limitation of the study is, of course, the convenient small data sample. Further studies are in place in our wider research agenda to measure and model the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on teachers and students' perceptions about online learning. I think this was my presentation.
Thank you very much, Stavros.